and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're doing good. I'm excited to sit down with my guest today because you know how we say as Ugandans, we hustle. Woo! I can't wait to hear his story. We happen to be at Cafe Esed on Intinda 2 Road, a beautiful little cafe. And joining me today, I have Collins Barija, who you might know as comedian Emeka or the romantic Mukiga. Those two words together. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks
I'm good.
for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, do your people at home call you Collins or?
Now, my real people call me Barija.
Okay, Barija.
My real cousins. I have my brothers, my sisters, my auntie. They call me Barija because anytime anyone calls me Barija, I really feel the name. I love it so much.
Okay.
No, those are the people that really know me.
The ones who really know you.
The rest call me Emeka.
Emeka.
Then my girlfriend calls me Collins.
She's the only one.
At times she calls me Barija because she's a Ushenye girl. So.
Okay. So where did you grow up?
Where did I grow up?
Yeah.
I grew up in Kampala.
Here in Kampala.
Here in Kampala. I was raised by my auntie. Yeah, Mrs. Kayongo. She raised me. I partly stayed with my mom for quite a few years. Then I started staying with my auntie because my mom had other things to do. So yeah, I grew up with my auntie, grew up here in Kampala. First grew up in Muyenga, then after I went to Rubaga to my mom's, then I went to Bunamwaya, my auntie's place.
Bunamwaya. Okay, so
where.
school, did you also move a lot because?
No, I didn't move a lot.
Okay.
Primary, I studied at Biotech, then went to Uganda Matters, Mbara, then went to Good Times where I finished my P7 form. So high school, I went to Baptist High School for 5 years. Then in Form 6, I went to Greenlight High School.
Okay. And your father, was he in the picture?
My father died when I was young.
Okay.
He's the late Lieutenant Colonel James Majezi. Yeah, so he died when we were kids. We didn't see him a lot when
you don't really have any memories?
I have a few memories. Because he died when I was like 6 years. Yeah, so I recall a few memories.
About him?
He was a man that loved his children. He loved us so much, and he would do anything for us. Yeah, you would do any other thing, but do not do anything to his children.
Okay.
Yeah. So by the time he died, he was taking us for Christmas shopping. Then he wanted to take us to some country to enjoy Christmas. So that is when he died.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least you have some memories. Some people, it's like a blank slate.
Know,
you just are hearing from other people, what it's like. Okay, so this side of you, the comedian side of you, I'm guessing it has always been there.
Yeah.
Like from way back.
Yeah, it has always been there since like childhood. Yeah,
so you enjoyed making people laugh?
I did, even at home. I would mimic relatives.
Oh.
Because mimicry is my strength. So I'd always mimic relatives. There's a time someone, I think it was my auntie was going to slap me. Then I made a statement and she laughed. She's like, that's how I survived a hot slap. Because
you were like, oh, I can do something with this.
So I would rather a person beating me than slapping me because there's a way this slap really hurts.
Let me tell you, it like rattles your brain around.
I know, right? Do you know a person slapping you and you hear echoes? Like they slap you, then you hear, like I hated such. So she was going to slap me. I don't remember the statement I made, but it was a funny statement. So she laughed. Like, gender. So that's how I survived.
Okay.
Then also, we would watch a lot of movies. Then whatever we've watched in the movie, I would come and act it.
Okay.
I would go to school.
Because
those days in primary, we were among the few families that had a video deck. So we'd watch those Jackie Chan movies. Jet Li, Schwarzenegger. Then I go to school. So I start bringing out every action and guys laugh. Then I would even include lies. I would lie to them. Everyone. So one time,
you can't do it without exaggeration.
Yeah. So one time I was exaggerating. I was telling them of a Jet Li movie. I think it was The Forbidden Kingdom. So guys came. Now I didn't know that one of our teachers was in the window seeing me. So I was doing all the actions. So he cut me short. And I'm like, I'm dead. He took me to the staff room. He sat with me. He told me, now narrate to me the whole movie. I've never watched it.
No way.
Yes.
Was that good?
It was really good because I narrated the whole movie to him. Then he's like,
Can
okay.
you imagine? So
So
you wanted a private audience
he wanted, yeah,
experience.
he wanted a private audience experience. So that is how then in high school, when stand-up comedy came in Uganda, I always watched Pablo live. I really loved the show.
Yeah.
I started watching Mike Check. Then the jokes these guys were doing, I would go and do them in school. And I would add in my own jokes and it would really be nice.
Oh my.
So I would always win those talent shows at school because of stand-up. Yeah, then Form 5, I really concentrate. Form 5, I didn't really like concentrate a lot on my books. The whole wanting to be a comedian thing took me up and I forgot my books. So they told me to repeat Form 5.
Okay.
Now my auntie was like, you are not repeating. I'm taking you to another school where you're going to concentrate. Now, leaving Baptist High School, I loved the school. Everyone knew me. I really loved everything about the school. I felt so hurt, but I had to leave. I didn't know that God had a really bigger plan for me because I was like, okay, how am I going to start being a comedian in this country, trying to look for these comedians? So I get to green light.
So you knew what you wanted at that
I knew
point.
what I wanted. Yeah, I wanted to be a comedian. I wanted to be on radio. I just wanted to be in the media. Not knowing God had a really bigger plan for me. On getting to green light, they tell me Teacher Mpamire was the history teacher. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, guys, are you for real? They're like, yes. I'm like, Teacher Mpamire is a comedian. They're like, yeah. So he had gone to the States by that time. So he kept on communicating on Facebook. When he came back, I looked for him. He came to school and I told him everything about me. I told him how I want to be a comedian. So in the evening after class, he told me, let's go to the library. Show me what you have. I did something and he really liked it. He's like, okay, so I'm going to mentor you. So he mentored me. So he told me, first finish school, then in your vac we shall catch up. Finished school. In my vac, I looked for him. The rest is history.
Oh my goodness. He took you under your wing.
Yeah,
Under his wing, sorry.
yeah, he took me under his wing, showed me various people. He would recommend me. He's like, that's my boy. I taught him, blah, blah, blah. And man, a person like Teacher Mpamire recommending you, it's a tick for many.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I want to go back to your time in school when you were doing all these impersonations and mimicking Arnold Schwarzenegger and all these actors.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that drama was something you wanted to do? Did you ever try the acting as well?
Yeah, we did MDD at school. We used to do MDD at school, and I won a lot of certificates. There's a time, my final year in school, Form 6, I almost won every award. I won the award for Best Traditional Dancer. I won the award for Best Contemporary Dance. I won the award for Best Actor. I won the award for Overall Performer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can relate to you in some way there. My mom teased me the other day. She said,
Yeah.
you know, when we came back to Uganda, I went to Buganda Road Primary School. And she
Yeah.
said, before I knew it, you were there dancing every single traditional dance. And my daughter was everywhere. And that's where that media thing
Yeah,
kind of
came
sometimes is really
in.
born, right? Okay, so did you ever join like a dance crew?
In school, no. In school, I never joined any dance group because we really had good dancers.
Oh.
We had good dancers, and me, my kind of dance was like, train me, and I'm going to do what you have trained me, and I'll do it perfectly.
Okay.
But now, these groups of dancers were really, really good. They were really, really, really good. In that, for them, each and every time they were practicing, me, I only needed like 2 days of practice, 2-3 days a week of practice. And the kind of practice I needed was, I just want to train and practice for what I'm going to dance at the competition.
So it wasn't like for the love of dance.
It was-
like that's what you were so passionate
I
about.
love dancing, but I was not so passionate about being like a real dancer. My passion was in comedy and radio and acting. Yeah, but we went for the dancing competitions and I beat even the best dancers. Yeah.
Okay, determination there. So you were raised by your auntie, more or less like a single mother, would you say, in a way?
No,
Or
she
was you
had
part of
a
the
husband and a family.
Okay.
So her husband, because they've really raised a lot of people, a lot of relatives. So her husband was like, since I was young actually, since I was like a baby, she took me in when I was a baby.
So she's like your mom.
She's my mom. I call her mom, only that the title auntie. But I call her mom. So she took me in right from childhood till high school.
So that means you had like a big family.
Yeah, I
from
had
the
a big
sound of it,
family.
like.
Yes, and I'm really so grateful to her that every great thing I'm doing right now is because of her. She taught me how to cook, taught me how to respect people. She instilled that thing of Christianity in me because she's born again and I'm born again. So we would always wake up in the morning, pray, and she'd tell us, before you do anything, pray. Before you do this, pray. So like she instilled a lot of values in me. Now when you hear people talking good things about me, it's her. Like it's really her. She taught me a lot how to treat people, how to act when you're with people, like all that.
Okay, so it was very clear you wanted to do stand-up comedy. And thankfully, you found a mentor, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as you finished school, you said you concentrated.
I concentrated.
You focused.
From 6, I passed.
Okay. And then you went looking for your mentor and
Yeah.
you started. Okay. So how was that reception then?
It was not bad. It was really not bad. He first sent me to a new, because he had a comedy clinic with Pablo. Teacher Pamela had a comedy clinic with Pablo. So he first sent me to that group of young new comedians. He's like, first start there, because we cannot just give you a big stage out of the blue. Start from somewhere, then come rising up in the ranks. Yeah. That was in 2014. So I came rising up slowly by slowly.
Were you making some money?
Yeah, I was making some little money. Yeah, because I was paying my tuition at campus through comedy.
Ah.
Yeah. So still in my Form 6, because I was doing it in my Form 6 VAC. Now still in my VAC, a comedy club live in Kampala came. It was a DSTV project. And that's like my highlight. I performed for 6 minutes and I was given $1,000. Now that is when I knew that this thing really pays. I gave it much more concentration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the name comedian Emeka and romantic Mukiga. When, how, why?
When, how, why? Emeka. In Form 6, I was studying with some Nigerian girl. She was called Ijoma. Now,
Ijoma.
Ijoma. Yeah, so her parents, she was like my best friend in school. So her parents, every time I would go to the place, read books, say hi to her, her mom said that, my son, you look like Ike Emeka the doctor. Yeah, like she'd always tell me those words, like, my son, you look like Ike Emeka. I'm like, no, but I don't, like, you look like him. So she's like, why do I have to stress by calling you your real name? I go give you the name Emeka. So that's how the name Emeka came.
Right.
So it came when I was in my Form 6. Yeah, now the fact that I wanted to do comedy, it helped me a lot.
It made sense.
Yes, it made a lot of sense. Then I took it up. Now the romantic Mukiga. Hey, it's so tragic how I got this name. It was through a heartbreak.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I dated this model. Yeah, that's in around 2017. If I sip my tea because this story. So yeah,
We must
2017.
prepare also.
Prepare. So I dated this girl. She was a model, and by the time I just graduated from campus, I was trying to start out life. Really, okay. I was working all this while, but you know this thing of starting somewhere. So I dated this girl, and I thought she was going to be there with me through it all. So I didn't have really like a lot. I didn't have money. I was broke.
I know.
Imagine you're a public figure, but you're broke.
In the beginning.
In the
That's
beginning.
what it is.
Yeah, but anyway, I was young, but still trying to make ends meet. So I met this girl, and we met at a show in Gulu. So came back to Kampala. We dated. And I thought she was really going to be there with me through the hard times. Because, man, there was a lot of progress. I was really making good progress. Now.
And you were paying your tuition, right?
Yeah,
at that point.
Yeah, I was paying my tuition and paying my accommodation. So, boom. Muzungu comes in the picture. And yeah, she told me, you see, this guy has a lot of money to take care of me for the rest of my life.
So she had a really honest conversation with you.
So she's like, for you, you know God. You're born again. We pray together, but you do not have money. And I don't know how to be with a guy who's just starting up life. So it's better I go somewhere with money. I was like, cool. She's like, but I'm really thankful for the love. Oh my God, you're so loving. Because me, when I love, I really love for real. It's like, you're so loving.
So your whole heart is there.
You're so loving. You're so caring. You're a good guy. It's like, you're the only romantic Mukiga I have seen in my life. I've never seen a Mukiga who is romantic. So you're the only romantic Mukiga. So it's better we cut this off. I was hurt. I actually went into depression. I was so depressed. I loved this person like with all my heart. So I say to myself, but wait a minute. You've broken my heart, but you've left me with something. She left me with
the
a
only
name.
romantic Mukiga I've ever met.
That's when I started. My name is Emeka, the most romantic Mukiga. So like, the most, let me cut it away. Put the romantic Mukiga. Now, every time I would go somewhere or for a gig, I'm like, anyway, my name is Emeka, the romantic Mukiga. So people would be on their phones. Once I say the name Emeka, the romantic Mukiga,
They'll be like, huh?
who on earth is this? Like, I would meet groups of old Mukiga men. And then one came to me after the show, like, who do you think you are? Calling yourself a romantic Mukiga. Mukiga men, we are not romantic. Now we start an argument from there. And that is how I made friends.
I have friends who are like, we don't even have a word for romance in our language.
You understand?
Right?
Now, honestly, I'm the only romantic Mukiga because I am romantic. So ladies ask me, what shows that you're romantic? I'm like, you want me to come and show you my romance? So that is how the romantic Mukiga came. So she broke up with me and the romantic Mukiga stayed. And it's through, I'm really thankful to her that I'm actually making a lot of money from the name.
I know.
Yeah.
But also, I have to say, I respect the fact that she was honest with you. I mean, in the world today, people find excuses or they just ghost you or disappear.
She first gave me excuses.
So you asked her to like,
I
sit
sat
down
her down
me.
and I'm like, yo, tell me because you're acting in a weird way. I need to know what's up. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how the romantic Mukiga came.
Okay. So when did you start using it? Do you remember?
Yes, I remember. I started using it in 2018 because now, after we broke up in 2017, December, no, actually, she actually broke up with me on my birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that was a pinch, like a really big one. So, after that, in 2018, I started using the name Romantic Mukiga. Now, there are people who live your life and things start getting better. The following year,
That's what happened.
2018, I got called to Kenya to go and do the Churchill show. I went and performed and I really impressed. 1 week, I came back from Kenya today. The following week, I was called in Kigali to go and perform. There's a Valentine show. I went. As I'm there, after a month, I go to Zambia. While in Zambia, I got a nomination for African Comedian of the Year with Basket Mouth and Salvador. I came back. Still that year is when I got my radio gig at Hot 100. Still that year, I did a lot of weddings. That year that's actually, 2018 was the beginning of greater things for me. Yeah, money started coming in. It started coming slowly by slowly. 2019, things got better. Lockdown came and I was like, okay, now I'm doomed. Shockingly, 2020, I made a lot of money as compared to all these years I was working.
But this was more or less like maybe influencing
It
online?
was influencing and weddings.
And weddings.
Now, 2021, I have made the most money in my career in lockdown. Yeah, because last year I started a YouTube channel and it really like shot up so fast. I was doing all those videos, then boom, GoTV calls me. We want you to be our brand ambassador. And up to now, I'm doing like really great work for them and they really love what I do. Then other companies come, people are like, hey, you're a good MC. And every time I'm at a wedding, emceeing, I do not MC for this couple. No, I MC for my next client. Yeah, I MC to impress my next client.
That's the mindset.
That's the mindset. So every time I'm at a wedding, I know these people have already seen me and that is why they've called me. Now I am doing it for my next client. So every wedding I do, I get like 2 more gigs or 1 more gig.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
I mean, see, I was telling you this man hustles like,
Yeah.
like you've been so busy from what I see.
Yeah.
And it's all blessings. But like you said, I like that you pointed out that, you know, something in your life ends. Sometimes it's a relationship and then everything starts to work out for you. It's so crazy. Maybe because you're free.
Yeah, it's because
Or
you're
maybe
free.
you're more. Also, I think, you know, she said this guy had a lot of money. Don't you think there was some determination in you to also make something of yourself?
I was like, in my heart, I was like, you have left me. Now I am going to be rich.
I'm going to show you.
I am going to show you. Because man, those days I would be on a border. Imagine getting someone's daughter, you're moving with her on a border. But now I drive. Yeah, so that's it. Like, and you see, in my life, I'm really a determined person.
It sounds like it.
Once I set my eyes to something, I really go for it. I'm a go-getter. Yeah.
Okay. So looking back, I mean, apart from that heartbreak, like what was the toughest season for you in comedy?
The toughest season for me was when my family rejected me and they refused me to do comedy in my Form 6 fac. Yeah. My singer, I have a singer, my mom really hated it. She didn't want me to do it. She never wanted me to do it. Because she believed, you know traditional parents who are like, a child is supposed to study, you have to study, go sit in an office and work.
Yeah, get a job.
Get a job, get a respectable job.
Respectable.
But that was my mom. Now, my mom, my auntie, the one who raised me, told me, as long as you're happy doing something, because she knew about talent. Yeah, because...
she had seen it as you were growing up,
she had
right?
she had seen it, and she had seen people on TV, because at home we would always watch a lot of life stories. Because every time there was a documentary about any celebrity, she's like, guys, come, watch this person. She sits us down, she's like, now watch that person's story. She's like, now Collins, you want to be this, you want to do this, watch that person's story, follow their story. Now, if you want to do anything in your life, you will do it as long as you're determined. And that was my auntie. So when I started doing comedy, she's like, as long as you're happy, and as long as you're making money from it, please go on and do you. Now, my real mom really didn't want it. My aunties and uncles, they were like,
It was a big thing.
It was a big thing. They were like, how can you do things that are shaming the family, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, I was looked at as an outcast in the family. Like, I felt so lonely. But the only person that was there for me was my auntie. And
But the kind of content you were even doing, did you ever feel like it fit? They are shaming the family?
no, but for them, they didn't believe, they thought comedy is for stupid people. Now, how they got to know that, okay, this thing is serious. The day the show started airing on Urban TV and they watched me, they're like, wait. So I said,
Because you're on TV.
I was in my Form 6 vac still. I was about to join campus, like, wait, this boy is on TV. And every joke I would crack, people, they would laugh. So I started, the very first time I appeared on TV, they called me, Collins, we've seen you on TV. And one of their uncles that was really not really okay with this, like, hey, you boy. So I am here watching my TV and I'm seeing a boy looking like my son, talking funny things. So he told me, I need to know that you are this funny. I'm like, but uncle, you're among the people that was discouraging me. No. Now you see the problem with parents. We really think that our children should know to do certain things. But konka washemeza. Please keep doing. You get? So
At least you acknowledged
yeah.
it.
Now, the thing that really opened their eyes was when they watched me on BBC and CNN and CGTN. They're like, wait.
They're like, what?
So one uncle comes like, wait. So you mean through all this, you can be on international TVs? I'm like, yes, I can be. Like, but you boy, how do you do it? Do you go to witch doctors? I'm like, no. Yeah. So they're like, okay. One of them told me, most of them are like, okay, do you know what? Let's let this boy do what he wants because he's really doing great. Now, to sum it up all, is when I got my first international gig. I was in my first year.
First year?
I got my first international gig.
Oh
I
my
went
goodness.
to Kigali as with Alex Muhanji. There's a Kenyan comedian called Chipukizi, Arthur Nkusi, Rwanda's biggest comedian. Like we had a show there. As in my first year, I stepped onto a plane, and surprisingly, some friends to my uncle knew me, so they saw me on billboards in Kigali, and they're like, "Wait, this looks like your son because we see the name Emeka from Uganda." Then it started moving on. They're like, "Wait, so you are now even performing outside Uganda?" I'm like, "Yes." They're like, Twahanika. We've given up on you. Yeah. So I got my first international gig, went and did it very well.
Wasn't that confusing for you at that point in
It
school?
was so confusing.
Like, how were you balancing?
How was I balancing? Now,
Yes.
here's the thing. I would wake up in the morning, go for my lectures. My lectures normally ended at around 1, 2, 3 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. Then after that, comedy was always in the evening. We go for rehearsals in the evenings. Then
But when you had to travel country,
when I had to travel outside the country, what I would do, I would inform my lecturers.
okay.
Yeah, because they knew me. They would
Where
even
were you?
St. Lawrence University.
St. Lawrence, okay.
Because my lecturers, there's a time I was in class, I never wanted lecturers or students to know that I was a comedian, so I'd come in class hiding myself. So one time, we are discussing, and guys are like, "Wait, aren't you Emeka?" And the whole class are like, "Hey, he's the one, he's the one." So even lecturers would come, and after the lectures, they're like, "Okay, we want tickets to your show." You get? Or they're like, one lecturer offered to pay for the whole class to come and watch. Like, that's the support they gave me. So every time I was traveling out the country, I would tell them, "I'm going to this country, I'm spending like 2-3 days, but I'll be back." They're like, "Hey, cool, go." Come back, someone else helps me cover up, discusses for me and everything. That's how I got to manage. So yeah, like it was, I got the first international gig. I was
That's
like,
good because
wow.
yeah. So you're like, I can really do this. I can really make it well.
Even on the day of graduation.
But that's what I mean. You know, a lot of other people in entertainment, in media, you know, when things start really working out and you're at university, a lot of people just say, do I need this? Do I have to finish?
Well,
Can't I come back to this?
One thing you need to know is that
It'll take a dead year or two.
Okay, yeah. As much as education is important, one thing you need to know is that everyone should go to school. You should study, you should graduate. But where Uganda has reached right now, Crystal, you'll bear with me. You will study, get your papers, and keep them. The skill you have inside you, the talent you have is what is going to take you, is what is going to really take you places. Now, for me, I have never used my papers. Like,
What did you do?
What did I do? Through comedy, I have never looked for a job.
No, I mean, did you do marketing?
No, I did mass communication.
Oh, mass communication. Now you see, you work on radio.
Yeah.
You're more or less in the media.
Yes.
There's something there.
Yes, but the thing is, I never looked for a job. I have never looked for a job. All the jobs I have right now, they came looking for me. Yes. And even where I am right now, they gave me a call. They're like, "Hey, my name is so-and-so from this radio station. We want you to come and do the morning show." I was like, "Really?" They're like, "Yes, come through." Now that's when I got to realize that you need to create that value for yourself.
You need to create your own brand.
You need to create your own brand. Once you have a brand, trust me, big brands will be looking out for you. I was so shocked. I'm not going to mention the name of the company because they'll watch this and fire me. But some friends were in a meeting, and the head of marketing of that company, it's a really big company. It's a multinational company in Africa. Have a branch in Uganda. He was telling them, "Guys, Emeka does this for us. Be like Emeka." And I was like, wait a minute. I grew up respecting these people. I grew up respecting these people. I grew up watching this. I grew up seeing these. Now, to see that their head of marketing is really talking about me. And my friend sent me a screenshot. He's like, "Yo, we are 1 hour into this meeting, and this whole hour, they're talking about you." I was like, okay, I think I'm doing something great. So once you're doing something, like, do it with all your heart, do it with passion, do it with everything, because you never know who is watching. Yes.
And what you said, like in the beginning, you never did it for the money in the beginning, because I think that's also something. True passion.
Yeah, it's true passion.
People see it and they want to be part of it.
Do you know that there's a time I would even offer to MC graduations for free? Yeah. I would offer to, when I was at campus, I offered to MC a wedding for free. I was like, guys, let me MC this, just see what I do. You get. Surprisingly, everyone I would tell, hey, let me MC for you for free, blah blah. They would refuse. They would actually refuse.
The people are suspicious of
Yeah,
free
they're like,
things.
This person.
They're like, at least you ask for like 500 now. And then they're more comfortable.
Now, the first wedding gig I did still was in my first year at campus. I was small, Crystal. I was young. I was 19 years old. Now, you know Ronnie McVex?
Yes, yes, yes.
Ronnie McVex is a person who has led me in this wedding emceeing thing in this country. He's the person that gave me my first wedding gig. He gave me my second wedding gig. He gave me my third wedding gig. You get, and I'm so grateful to Ronnie McVex because at that time, he asked me, he came for one of our shows, and he's like, bro, I'm not going to be in the country, but there's a wedding in Barara. They had given me a deposit, but the balance is 500,000. Now I had 500K at campus. Hey! So he asked me, have you ever emceed a wedding before? I was like, yes, but I had never emceed a wedding. Never. So he's like, okay, just get a suit. All I'm going to do, I'm going to give you transport to Barara. I'm going to give you money for accommodation and money just to take you through. Go to Barara, they'll pay you the balance, it's yours.
Okay.
I'm like, cool. He called, he told them, he informed them, and they were like, Kawa, no problem. Now, the chairman organizing committee called me. We talked. So he told me, when are you coming? Because the wedding was on a Saturday, I traveled on a Friday night. He's like, okay, when you get to Mbara, get accommodation. Tomorrow morning, we meet at the venue. It was at Igongo Culture Center. I was like, cool. That night, I went to YouTube. I typed, how to MC a wedding. Now, I was a comedian. Not every comedian can really make a good wedding MC. You get?
Yeah.
So, just like not every
And
MC.
there's some things you also have to be very careful.
Yes, but the good thing with me,
Family, parents.
you get, like, you need to get all that. Then the way you talk, like, you need to be in a very calm way at the beginning. Now, the good thing with me is that I was so articulate with that. I Googled, I watched the videos on YouTube. I'm like, okay, let's go do this. And before doing everything, I pray. Reached Mbara, met the chairman. I'm like, chairman, it's me. Like, wait, you are the one? I'm like, yeah.
This young boy.
You were very young. I'm like, but I am young, but do you? So I sat down like this. I'm like, I wish I tell you the weddings I've done in this country. He asked me, which weddings have you done? I told him, last weekend I did a wedding at Serena. The other week I was at Sheraton. This week I was at this hotel.
Fake it till you make it, eh?
Fake it till I sat down with him. I convinced him. The guy is like, okay, let's draft a program. Ha! He's like, draft for me the program. Now,
That's a problem.
Now, that was a problem. I was like, no problem. Let's draft it down. Now, I got to know what happens at a wedding. Entry, after entry, lunch, speeches. I drafted it. He looked at me fidgety. I was like, I gave it to him. He's like, hey, okay, let's go with this. Now, it was actually a high-profile wedding. I saw the cars. I was like, no way. Now, what helped me? There were like 10 Bazungus in the audience. I was like, I'll start from these ones. They came in. I ushered them in. Now, one of the guests was like, Kunkashi, they've brought us a young MC. Will he manage this? Will he manage? Let me tell you, I nailed that wedding because I even remember Reddy and Weasel performed on that day. I nailed that wedding, and after nailing that wedding, the guy giving me my balance told me, he asked me, how old are you? I told him I'm 19 years. He's like, man, you have a bright future. Keep doing this. The groom told me, we wanted Ronnie McVex, and we were so hurt that he was not coming. We were not so sure of the person he was bringing us, but I'm really so happy that you've done a great job. He got $100 and gave it to me.
Oh.
Now, I was like, okay, I can do this. Went, back to the hotel, slept like a boss. The following day I came back. So,
Like, I did it.
so I was
But
like,
also you knew how much you had to prove, I think.
yes.
But
Now,
you didn't just show up and just wing it. Because some people think you just show up and just...
no. It's you need to you need to know what to do. That is why I would tell friends, take me to a wedding you're doing and I see how you do it. You get, like, I would always go to weddings, Ronnie's emceeing, I see how he does it, and I would be like, I want to be one of the most talked about MCs in town. You get, like, I always wanted that.